The moment you commit to the hidden law, a profound and immediate shift occurs, not just within you, but in the world around you. It's as if the environment itself possesses a primal, animal instinct. Sensing a change in the era shift in the energetic magnetic field you project? This is not mere speculation. It is an observable, unsettling reality. For every person who steps onto this path of self-mastery, the world reacts as if it smells a transformation, an elevation of your internal power, and it begins to test you. Before we go deeper into semen retention mastery, subscribe to this channel and join our Telegram community, link below. You'll get guidance, insights, and exclusive updates designed to accelerate your growth. Stay connected. Your discipline, focus, and transformation begin right here. This testing is the first unmistakable sign that you are doing something right, something powerful, and something that disrupts the comfortable, mediocre flow of the social average. People look longer. Their gaze holds for an extra, probing second, filled with curiosity and an unconscious demand for explanation. Conversations, once predictable and casual, stretch in unusual directions, veering toward topics of depth, challenge, or unexpected intimacy. The universe, through the actions of the people around you, steps forward to examine you. This sudden, widespread scrutiny creates the classic, almost mythical belief that your entire being is now encased in a powerful, tested aura. It feels uncanny and almost magical, a confirmation of ancient texts. You may feel like a lone figure under a spotlight, and the intensity is real. But the profound truth of this phenomenon sits on more grounded, yet equally fascinating, psychological and behavioral soil. The secret lies not in supernatural powers, but in the extraordinary sensitivity of the human mind. Human beings are, in reality, extraordinarily subtle detectors of psychological signals. When you consciously choose to redirect your vital creative energy inward instead of perpetually scattering it across a landscape of fleeting impulses, superficial distractions, and instant gratifications, you fundamentally change the way you exist in physical space. This internal reorganization is not silent. It immediately rewrites your external code. This deliberate self-regulation results in tangible, observable shifts. Your presence changes. It becomes heavier, more anchored, impossible to overlook. Your posture becomes steadier, the spine and axis of newfound discipline. Your movements gain a quiet deliberation, shedding the jerky, anxious motions of the constantly seeking mind. Even your eye contact, that most fundamental social tool, stabilizes, becoming a direct, unwavering channel of focus. Your voice gains depth, and your speech sharpens, each word carrying a subtle weight of intention. These are not the traits of a mystic. They are the unavoidable behavioral outcomes of radical self-regulation and society. That vast, interconnected network of human observation has evolved over millennia to notice them instantly. The social testing you experience is the natural, unavoidable reaction to perceived strength, discipline, and a sudden, quiet increase in personal power. When an individual appears more focused, composed, and inwardly directed, the people around them instinctively begin to push at the edges. This is not always born of hostility or malice. In its purest form, it is curiosity, wrapped in a gentle, persistent pressure. Subconsciously, those around you need to know, is this new behavior stable, or is it a temporary facade? They must determine whether this renewed presence is solid bedrock or brittle glass. Every social group, every workplace, every circle of friends and family operates on a system of subtle, often unspoken balances. When one person becomes more grounded, more centered, the entire system is thrown off its familiar equilibrium. The testing you feel is the mechanism of that systemic adjustment. People may tease you with unexpected sharpness, challenge your opinions, question your choices, or approach you with an unfamiliar flirtatiousness. They are not merely trying to pass the time. They are urgently trying to map out and understand the identity of the person you are actively becoming. They want to know your new place on the map. Furthermore, the practice itself affects the mind in powerful, specific ways. When the foundational, creative desire is not constantly discharged, there is a controlled, powerful rise in mental tension. This tension is not the draining stress of anxiety. It is a reservoir of hyperfocus, a concentrated internal resource. It produces an unshakable alertness. The chronic fog that clouds the average brain begins to lift, replaced by crystal clarity. The cycles of instant reward, the constant, subtle chemical dependency of modern life, calm down. In their place, the capacity for sustained, deep effort increases exponentially. These quiet, internal shifts fundamentally rewrite your outward behavior, often before you consciously realize the extent of your own transformation. Those who practice this discipline often notice, almost incidentally, that they stand straighter, speak with more intention, and move with a quiet, undeniable deliberation. It is crucial to remember that humans read these microsignals with almost terrifying precision. The world responds to your change before you even register that you are projecting something new and formidable. But the story deepens beyond mere behavioral changes. There is an internal aura radiating intensity that grows from the very nature of the struggle itself. This discipline is never a casual decision. It is an ongoing, deep-seated negotiation with the most primal instincts of the self. Every instinct that once ran freely, governing your choices and draining your focus, now pushes back against the new internal order. This ongoing, intense negotiation for self-control creates a profound sense of seriousness and commitment. And seriousness, when genuine, always pulls attention. People notice seriousness because it stands out in stark contrast to the usual, pervasive drift of daily life. The vast majority of people move through the world in a haze of half-focus and mild, passive distraction. When someone shows up with an unusual, unwavering level of concentration and unshakable presence, it disrupts the social average, shattering the illusion of normalcy. Disruption demands attention. Attention, in the social sphere, inevitably leads to testing. Another critical layer to this phenomenon is that the practice of retention fundamentally changes the way you interpret the world. When your mental reserves are less drained, your perception intensifies. The veil of mental fog is pulled back, and you begin to pick up on social cues with startling quickness. You suddenly feel the subtle tensions and energetic undercurrents in conversations that you previously overlooked, or simply had no capacity to register. This newfound, intense sensitivity can make the most ordinary social reactions feel amplified and highly charged. A small, casual joke may suddenly feel like a deliberate challenge to your authority. A curious or passing stare may feel like an intense, aggressive probe. Even a simple compliment can feel loaded, as if it were a test of your humility or confidence. Some of the testing you experience is undeniably real, a genuine reaction to your changed presence. But an equally significant portion of it is simply your no-sharpened perception catching signals you used to miss entirely. The world did not suddenly become a more aggressive place. You simply became more exquisitely aware of the complex, often competitive, way social interaction actually functions. Humans naturally test anything that appears genuinely strong, centered, or powerful, because such strength simultaneously promises both great opportunity and potential threat. People test you to see if your strength can be trusted. Will it be a positive, stable force? They test to see whether your newfound presence will challenge or disrupt them. Most importantly, they test to see if it is authentic. These trials can feel deeply uncomfortable, even overwhelming, but they also reflect a profound, albeit subconscious, form of respect. No one wastes energy testing something they consider insignificant or weak. A person who radiates scattered, anxious energy receives little more than a passing glance. A person who radiates controlled, centered energy commands and draws all eyes. Attraction, in all its forms, plays an undeniable and major role. The practice often increases one's physical and energetic presence in subtle, powerful biological ways. The voice may stabilize, dropping to a more resonant frequency. Facial expressions may soften, yet simultaneously intensify with inner life. Movements become smoother, more decisive, less reactive. The very absence of compulsive, needy behaviors creates an impression of unshakable confidence and self-sufficiency. Attraction itself is a powerful engine of testing. Humans flirt, pursue, and connect through calibrated challenges. They test confidence to spark a deeper tension. They probe your emotional boundaries to see whether your footing is stable or easily shaken. This is not a new phenomenon. It is an ancient dance of human behavior. 2 millennia ago, the process was the same. Today, it simply feels new and personal because you are experiencing it through a radically different, elevated internal state. Furthermore, there is the undeniable element of rivalry. When one person appears to rise, demonstrating greater discipline and focus, others may react defensively, not necessarily with dramatic hostility, but with a quiet, low-level competitiveness. A coworker might make sharper, more pointed jokes. A friend might question your new life choices with an edge of passive aggression. A complete stranger might challenge your sudden, unshakable, calm demeanor in a public setting. People engage in this behavior because your transformation invites an immediate, unavoidable comparison. This comparison, for those who feel stagnant or unfulfilled, creates deep-seated discomfort. Discomfort, in turn, produces the testing behavior. This is not a personal attack. It is the evolutionary social machinery doing what it always does to regulate the group dynamic. Some people feel profoundly threatened when someone in their immediate vicinity begins a process of tangible improvement. The improvement of one person often shines an uncomfortable light on the stagnation or lack of discipline in another. The intensity of this practice often magnifies this contrast to a blinding degree. Individuals who feel bothered or challenged by your light may test you aggressively to see if they can push you off balance, back into your old habits. If you falter, they gain a temporary relief, validating their own choices. If you stay centered, they are forced into the uncomfortable territory of self-examination. Because many individuals do not enjoy this introspection, they will prioritize shaking your focus instead. A deeply interesting, counterintuitive part of this entire experience is how the practice itself fundamentally slows down your impulsive reactions. You no longer snap back quickly in conversation. You do not react blindly or defensively to minor slights. This unreactive, grounded quality is what truly unsettles people, because most social patterns rely on predictable, programmed reactions. When you cease to react on social autopilot, others begin pressing your emotional buttons to see which ones, if any, still work. Again, this is rarely malice. It is the simple, innate human need to read and understand the emotional map of the person standing in front of them. When you change your internal wiring through this practice, you are, in effect, rewriting that map. The testing you feel is others trying frantically to redraw it. Once you attain this level of understanding about the dynamic at play, the experience becomes dramatically less overwhelming and far more fascinating. The perceived tests stop feeling like attacks and immediately start feeling like valuable data points. They revealed the incredible sensitivity of human beings to energy, presence, and focus. They reveal how quickly social groups respond to internal transformation. They reveal how profoundly hungry people are for genuine confidence and centeredness. Even if they express that hunger through clumsy boundary-testing probes, instead of resisting these tests, you can begin to enjoy the game of inner mastery. You learn to respond with a measured calmness. You practice staying centered in the storm. You effortlessly hold your ground. Eventually, the world stops testing you, not because you have become invisible, but because you stop fluctuating. The most profound truth about this process is that the power is not magical in a supernatural sense. The genuine magic is psychological, biological, and energetic. When you stop seeking instant, superficial release, you are forced to develop deep, fundamental patience. When you stop feeding self-destructive impulses, you fundamentally strengthen your mind's executive function. When you stop losing vital energy through compulsive size-shallow habits, you gain unparalleled clarity. These qualities of patience, mental strength, and clarity shine through your mannerisms, your eyes, and your every movement. Humans respond to genuine clarity like moths respond to a powerful flame. Some are immediately drawn in fascination. Some are startled into defensiveness. Some are intimidated into silence. But all will react. The aura people speak of is simply the visible, outward face of a deep, inward discipline. Anyone who commits deeply and consistently to a demanding, transformational path will experience remarkably similar social responses. The monk who meditates long hours in solitude experiences it. The elite athlete who trains fiercely beyond the limits of average endurance experiences it. The musician who dedicates their life to the solitary mastery of their craft experiences it. When someone begins to live with unwavering intention, the world becomes profoundly curious, and the testing begins. This discipline is only one possible road to that intention, but its effects are uniquely noticeable, because the central struggle happens at the most instinctive, primal level. It taps into the oldest, most powerful biological circuitry. That is why the social reactions feel so ancient, profound, and instinctive. Eventually, the constant, low-level feeling of being tested fades into background noise. This is not because people stop testing, but because you stop being shaken or disturbed by it. Once your internal discipline becomes your effortless, natural state, the world sees no drama or struggle in it. It simply becomes your baseline reality. Others settle into the new rhythm you have established. The tension vanishes. What once felt like a spiritual battlefield, a gauntlet of constant social challenges, becomes an ordinary walk through life, but one navigated with an unshakable, steady presence. This entire practice is ultimately a story about self-direction. When you choose to have absolute control over your own impulses, the external world reacts as a perfect, unflinching mirror. The tests it delivers reveal whether your discipline is genuine and solid or temporary and fragile. With time, the discipline becomes effortless and integrated. At that point, the aura is no longer something you actively think about or try to cultivate. It simply becomes an undeniable part of how you move through the world. The initial social tests transform from sources of pressure into organic opportunities for profound personal expression. You realize that all along, the true, decisive test was not delivered by other people, but by yourself, by your old habits, your unconscious patterns, and your deeply conditioned reactions. Once those inner, self-sabotaging forces are thoroughly mastered, the outer world quiets down and settles. Discipline radiates gently, effortlessly, instead of loudly and defensively. This is why the aura feels tested by everyone. It is not a cosmic attack or a malicious conspiracy. It is a natural, dynamic conversation between your inner evolution and the social environment that surrounds you. If this video gave you real value, tap the thanks button. Your support helps me keep creating deeper content like this. Every thanks is a spark that keeps this mission alive. Your support means more than you know. And once you understand and embrace this rhythm, the entire experience transforms into a truly fascinating glimpse into the deep mechanics of human society, how we respond. On an instinctive level, to genuine presence, quiet focus, unyielding clarity, and the formidable, quiet power of restrained instinct.